So, hello students. Today I am going to explain the new poem which I have written on the board, The School Boy. It's a very fantastic poem. Like a little child, first of all, that he or she is encouraged and motivated by their parents to go to school at a regular basis. Because a child always that wants to play or wants to do any kind of activities rather than that study. So to make them a perfect habit of studying, it acts as a very important role. So, a child always that wants to have the complete freedom in his life, because that a child is a playful boy, a child also celebrates, is very happy life also. So for this reason, a child actually that does not want to go to school. And even though if he or she goes to school, all the time that he or she wants to play in the school. So just to have an entertainment, that the school also provides at least one period once in a week for games and sports. As our study period is a very hectic period, very busy period, the world has changed. Simultaneously that the trend of reading and writing, it also has been changed. So the teacher also has to move according to demand of the time. Certainly that student also does not get a proper time to play. Even for playing outside quite near to his or her house, inch by inch the concrete buildings are constructed, and there they are unable to play. Finally what happens? They are compelled to reside in their homes, and they have to play the indoor games just to entertain himself or herself. So here also a school boy, that he also wants to gain the complete freedom, and he also wants to enjoy his life by playing. He does not want to go to school, and if he goes to school, what happens? So I am going to read the poem at least over here. Now an introduction. The schoolboy in the poem is not a happy child. What makes him unhappy? Why does he compare himself to a bird that lives in a cage, or a plant that withers when it should blossom? So exactly that in this poem, the poet has revealed about a boy that he is a completely unhappy child. Why so? So what environment, what atmosphere that makes a child completely unhappy? And even though that if he compares to a bird, that if the bird is kept inside the cage, definitely that bird also will remain very sad, very sorrowful. And even though the singing birds, they will be unable to sing songs because that the bird has lost the complete freedom. Even though the plants, that also, it will wither, it will nip in the bud, So, children at work, even though that I have already explained that the children like Velu and Jaya, they are rag pickers. They should have gone to school. They should have gained the knowledge in the school. They should have played inside the school, but they are unable to. So their childhood is nipped in the bud, with sentence that I had written on the board, that please remember. Their childhood is nipped in the bud, B-U-D, bud. So here the word there means whose? There means that the children, those who are rag pickers, those who are unable to go to school. So they cannot develop their intellectual mind. And all the time that the children have to work for their family to give the financial support. So their childhood is nipped. So NIP nipped is a V1 and NIPED nipped, that is V2 and V3 also. It means to fade away. Means to die at an early stage before blooming into a flower. So their birds means that in Hindi it is called kali. That is early stage of the flower. And when the child is also unable to go to school, unable to play anywhere else, and he or she does not have the complete freedom in the life, definitely their childhood will be nipped in the bud itself. Means before blooming of flower, that will fade away. So the child that who also that wants to play anywhere else, but he or she does not get the time to play, because all the time that he or she has to remain in the school. So what exactly that the schoolboy expresses his own feelings. This is the first stanza. I love to rise in a summer morning, when the birds sing on every tree, the distant huntsman that winds his horn, and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what a sweet company! So even a child that he is very much interested to rise early in the morning during the summer season. And there that he mentions that in the tree the birds also sing very beautifully, very melodiously, in a very sweet song. So when a child that hears that the beautiful song sung by the bird, he becomes very happy. So even though that he also observes that the hunter from a longer distance, the word horns, it is a verb over here, it means that to blow clarion. The word which I am rubbing over here, The huntsman winds. It is read as winds, not wings. Winds his horn. So horn is a kind of a sound which is emitted by the car or motorbike or the four-wheelers to make attention the passenger or make attention to a person who are that going on the footpath. So the huntsman, even though the hunters that from a longer distance, so here that informs or that it is a noun over here. His horn. So it means the hunter who blows clarion, C-L-A-R-I-O-N. That clarion from a distant field. So here the word clarion is a kind of a musical sound, or that is musical instrument. So that makes the sound of trumpet. So in the morning, that hunted from a distance, they can be seen for hunting the animals like birds and other creatures. So they are also that making a different kind of sound, and when a child that hears, that he or she becomes very happy. And then after that he remembers that, oh, what a sweet company. It means that everywhere that the birds are also chirping, birds are also singing very beautifully, and even that the huntsman also winds off his clarion during the summer morning, so a child feels very happy. Now the second stanza. But to go to school in a summer morning, oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outward, the little ones spent the day in sighing and dismay. So here that actually a child faces complete disappointment when the child actually that has to go to the school. So really that the joy, their happiness is driven away, is taken away under a cruel eye outward, means that under a strict guidance by the teacher. So at least that the 5 to 6 hours as a daily routine that the child has to spend in the school. And according to periods that all the teachers also come and take class. Teacher also wants complete attention given by the students so that they would likely to understand the explanation given by the teacher. So remember that as a daily routine, if a child has to go to school and all the 5 to 6 hours that he or she has to attend the school, no game period, no entertainment, no creation, how the life will be born. So at least this is why, to avoid boredom, that the school actually provides at least one period of the games and sports in every week, so that the children also feel very happy that, oh, today is my games period. And the students also do come in a full-fledged, and they enjoy the games and the sports during that period. So this is also very much important in the child's life. So likewise, that under the strict guidance of a teacher, when the child goes to school, so their joys also comes to over. Why? Because that he or she has to remain under strict action of the teacher. And then after that he takes the deep breath, S-I-G-H-I-N-G. It means to take deep breath. And dismay means surprise. All of a sudden that he gets the surprise. The third stanza. Then at times I droop in sit. I spend many an anxious hour, not in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's bowl, walk through the dreary store. And during that time when this child has to spend many hours into the school, that the child feels the complete discouraged. The child feels completely disappointment. So their interest of learning, that it goes off. And he is looking very much worried. And then after what happens? That he is neither interested in going through the books, and he has lost the complete happiness also. Even though that he loses the interest in learning things, and all the things that it looks like that a child is very exhausted, the child is very tired. So now again that the children feel it. How can the bird that is bored for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child, when feels annoyed, but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? Then the child also wants to express his own idea, like sitting in a cage. How come that even a bird can sing very beautifully? When that the bird is free and flies off into the open nature, or from one branch to another branch, that the bird hopes and sits over there. So definitely that the bird feels very happy. And if the bird feels very happy, if the bird has really that the freedom, then automatically that the sweet song that it comes from the bird's throat, and that he attracts all over the jungle by singing his song very beautifully. Therefore, that the children actually that wants to make attention to their parents through this line. Oh father and mother, if birds are nipped, right now that I have explained, the birds are nipped, and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and the terror's dismay. So here that the words, that is, a stripe of their joy. It is written into the book that you have a look. If the joy is taken away from plants, if the plants are fed up, If suppose that there is no wind is blowing, so a plant will stand unstable like. But if the wind is blows, definitely that the plant, its leaves also that sway into the wind. So even that the plants also feel very happy. So actually that the child wants to pray to their parents that please give me also a freedom. Please do not make a machine in this world. So all the time that it will remain busy and doing no creations at all. So a boy is reminding to his or her parents that suppose that we the child as a bird, B-U-D bird, if we are nipped in our childhood, so really that the happiness at their faces will go off. There will be no delight. There will be no happiness. And even that the tender plants, that very delicate plants, that their joy will also be taken away. And everywhere there will be a sorrow. Everywhere there will be a disappointment. Everywhere it will be the sorrow and the sad atmosphere. So this is why a child also should be given the complete freedom so that they can develop their mental power with great enthusiasm. We should not impose them everywhere else. Let them play as long as they want. And so on, that the child will feel complete freedom. And the last two lines, how shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer fruits appear? Like if the children also remain very busy, they do not get the complete freedom. Definitely, even though there is useless in getting up during the summer morning, and they will completely lose their joy, and the summer fruits, as like that, the life also will not develop. So this is why that this is a prayer to the parents, that all the parents should give the complete freedom to a child or to their children, so that they can improve their intellectual power. If they feel completely mentally free, then they can develop, they can explore the things. So we all should give the complete freedom to the child. So this is the explanation about this poem, The School Boy. Thank you.